That's the bottom line. Yes, Kim.
So I just really want to get this clear, because this is new for me.
Okay.
I think it's part of what Carol said because she's my student, and so it's new for her too.
Oh, it's still confusing to me, and I've been studying it 30 years, so it's permanent confusion. So let's just see what we can dissect.
Laziness,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see lazy, you just want to hit it over the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
Okay. But what you're also saying is that that's not because lazy's in you to be.
That's because I made this early decision. It's called early decision theory. That somewhere before my 7th birthday, usually target age 5, I made a decision that was a painful experience to be around lazy people, and I would never be.
Okay, so then you work yourself to death to avoid lazy.
Yeah, and so I marry it so that it comes into my life, and it really is a problem there. So at that point, I got it.
Okay. So now what you do is you have your 8, 8, and 8 hour division.
Actually, not even that many anymore because I don't work that much anymore.
And you redefine lazy as R&R.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I did it. And when I used to teach these 6 weeks classes at the Jung Center, everybody would come in with their shadow, and we'd create rituals that would allow people to identify it and say, what's a way to mature it? What's a way to grow it? What's a way to reformulate it so that it's in your life and doesn't have to attack you to get your attention? But I'm telling you, it still does. So, but it's like it's out there now. It's not like aggravating me on a daily basis.
So a way to tap into your shadow is to figure out what really pisses you
Yes.
off and you see it in other
Yes.
people.
Yes, because you see it in other people because you've not developed it. It's not in you. And you've got to find a way to develop it in a reasonable, acceptable way to your lifestyle so that you don't have it attacking you all the time and grabbing you. Marion Woodman, who I think is the Jungian analyst, she has a picture on her book, Animus Aeternis, and there's a woman walking and there's a hand coming up from the underworld grabbing her by the ankle, and I went, oh man, since I had my ankle crushed, I know that picture. I need to see what she has to say. And it's about that very thing. If you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. Because Jim Aylward, who was my first Jungian analyst, he said, Nan, if you don't deal with the unconscious, it's capable of violence. And I said, yeah, I know. So that's...
You don't have to find that trait in yourself. You just have to find the core decision that triggers.
Well, you don't even have to find the core decision, but I'm just telling you some theory. I mean, because I'm a theory nut. But if you look at what you constantly get aggravated and react to, that's your shadow. Chances are you can trace it back to an experience in the early part of your life with somebody, and you go, bingo, I must have made an early decision not to find a way to do that because it was so noxious and awful to me. Does that make sense? So what you say is, I better bring it in intentionally in some way that's acceptable to me so that I'm not finding it in a way that hurts me anymore. Because the task, according to Jung, of the shadow, it's supposed to work for us, not work against us. Work with us, work for us. Yes?
So it's showing us something that needs to be
integrated.
Addressed or grown.
Integrated, yeah.
In us that we're not doing properly.
Because we had, yeah.
It is that we need to take the message from that.
Yes,
and
well said.
Figure out how to grow ourselves.
Yeah, plant it in our own self.
That doesn't aggravate us
Yes,
anymore.
exactly.
Okay. You made me so happy.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. We can end on that. If somebody has any more questions, I'll be happy to stay. But I'm so glad because that's really, it's that simple.
So I'm not really like my mother.
No. And let me tell you something. Let me say this because this is really an interesting thing. This is family of origin theory 101. Same-sex parents are going to have opposite shadow children. We're going to be unlike our mother, and we're going to be like her mother, and that's why it drives her crazy. When we have a daughter, we need to be prepared for the fact she's going to be our mother. See, I was prepared for my daughter to be my mother, but I didn't know how. So I worked really, because, here's what we say when we don't like our mother. Oh, I wish I could change her, right? So guess what? The universe says, oh, I heard you. All right, well, we'll give you one. And you can grow it up from the get-go. And I did a really good job with it with my daughter, and she's a wonderful person. I have nothing but praise for her. But I got to tell you, one of the crazy things my mother did. My mother had what I call the night project gene. You know, in the middle of the night, she decided to go paint a picture. You know, do something ridiculous. And one night I'm asleep, and I'm going, God, I smell like something's cooking in my house. My daughter had awakened, and she was a teenager, and she was baking chocolate chip cookies. And I went, how does that happen that it crosses the blood-brain barrier and it shows up in this? What are you doing? She says, oh, I decided. And I went, okay, I know. So we're not going to be like our mothers. We're going to be more like one of our grandmothers, probably our mother's mother. And that's what creates the problem.
What if you have a son?
Well, you don't get to have this experience. You must have passed on it. You know, those of us who have both children, we get to live all of it. But, you know, and people that don't have children, they get to have, they didn't sign on for this adventure. Obviously, some of us did. And it's real interesting, I have to say. You know, and whatever the secret in the family is, the kids are going to act it out because they know it. It's like, I'll give you this last example. The first family I saw when I was in my practicum was a family in which the little boy had done really well the first 6 years of school, and then he refused to go to school. So according to theory, I knew there was a secret. So I got the parents along. I said, okay, what's the secret? And the father said, I quit school after the 6th grade. I said, well, your son is doing it. Let's go tell him. So we went and tell him. He went, oh, okay, well, he went back to school and fine. So, you know, that's why you have to get the secrets out of the bag of your shadow material so that if you have children and mates and friends, they all know where your vulnerabilities and weak spots are so that when they step on it and you go, they go, oh, that's just your hook. That's your old stuff. And we need to know when we have an overreaction, probably that's our shadow. Unprocessed, unhealed. But not forever, hopefully. Okay, thank you very much.